Good afternoon to you. We will today continue with economy. We were seeing types of bonds and we will continue with this other types of bonds which are part of capital market. Now first is masala bond. What is masala bond? Very peculiar name. It is ethnic. These are the bonds issued outside India but denominated in Indian currency instead of local currency, that is of foreign currency. Instead of foreign currency, it is denominated in Indian currency. This was issued in November 2014 for the first time. The masala term is used by the international institutions to evoke certain amount of Indian ethnic culture. First masala bond was issued by the World Bank backed IFC. Again in 2015, International Finance Corporation (IFC) for the first time issued green masala bond. World Bank raised 1000 crore rupees to fund infra projects in India. While under green masala bond, IFC raised $3.15 billion for private sector investment to address climate change. This is the gist of masala bond. Now, what is external commercial borrowing? External commercial borrowing, ECB. It is an instrument used to facilitate the access to foreign currency by Indian corporates and public sector units, etc. ECBs include commercial bank loans, buyer's credit, supplier's credit, securitized instruments like floating notes and fixed rate bonds, etc. ECBs are permitted by the government as a source of financing for Indian companies for expansion of existing capacity and for fresh investment. Kindly note that ECBs cannot be used for speculative investment in stock. Very important PT point of view. It is regulated by Department of Economic Affairs and the RBI. Will get money in foreign currency. What are the advantages? Number one, you can borrow large fund. Number two, long-term foreign currency. Number three, low interest rate. Number four, since they are in foreign currency, you may be able to use the money to pay back import liability. Number five, the loans can be raised by banks, export credit agencies, etc. Now let us know about something about stock exchange, which we have partly seen, but they are additional information. Stock exchanges are the platform for trading shares, equity, also called stock market or security market or secondary market. There are two important stock exchanges in India. One is BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, and another is NSE, National Stock Exchange. First stock exchange in the world is Amsterdam Stock Exchange of 1602. Bombay Stock Exchange was established in 1894. It is the oldest stock exchange in Asia. National Stock Exchange was established in 1992. Remember, 1992. This is the first electronic exchange. And as you know, for BSE, the Sensex is the name of the index of BSE. Nifty is the name of NSE. that is Nifty 50. The other indices match the following PT point of view. Other indices are Nasdaq New York, Nikkei Japan, FTSE London, KOPSI South Korea, Hang Seng HANG Hong Kong, SIMEX Singapore. These are all some important stock exchanges. You should know these things for match the following. 2 new stock markets have been opened in India recently. One is SME, Small and Medium Enterprises. This is under Bombay Stock Exchange. Second is Emerge. This is under NSE. Both is debt market, not equity market. Remember, it is only dealing with debt, not equity. Then comes what is known as the India International Exchange Limited. India International Exchange Limited. India INX. This is India's first international stock exchange. This is a subsidiary of Bombay Stock Exchange. This was founded in 2017 at International Financial Services Center, GIFT City in Gujarat. Very important from PT point of view. GIFT City in Gujarat. Operates on Eurex 17, advanced technology. Fastest exchange turnaround time is only 4 microseconds. Fastest exchange. It works for 22 hours from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. continuously to facilitate the NRI and other people to invest. It opens when Japan Stock Exchange opens and closes when the US market closes. It facilitates international investors and NRIs to trade from anywhere across the globe at their preferred times. Very important. Then comes residential index. What do you mean by residential index? This is issued by National Housing Board. This is the first housing price index. This functions under Ministry of Finance, Technical Advisory Committee. This was launched in 2007. The purpose is to track the movement of housing prices. Then comes differential pricing system. This is to sell the same product to different customers at different times at different prices. See, to sell the same product is same. It is sold to different customers at different times in different prices. Let us say the issue price of L&T is 100. For retail customers, it is kept 10% discount. This is called differential pricing. Then comes what is known as, very important from PT point of view, Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency Limited. Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency Limited, Mudra. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, PMMY, is a scheme launched on 8th April 2015 for providing loans up to 10 lakh to non-corporate, non-farm, small micro enterprises. To whom? Non-corporate, non-farm, small micro enterprises. These are all collateral-free loans given by scheduled commercial banks regional rural banks, small finance banks, microfinance institutions, and the NBFCs, non-banking finance companies. Under this, there are three products: Shishu, Kishore, Tarun. Shishu is up to 50,000, Kishore is up to 5 lakh, Tarun is 5 lakh to 10 lakh. What are the functions of Mudra? Number one, it provides financial literacy and training to micro enterprises. Secondly, it is indirect lending. Number three, the benefits are only non-farm, non-corporate sector. Then comes, yesterday I told you what is LIBOR, LIBOR. That is London Interbank Offer Rate. This is the average interest estimated by leading banks in London. Average interest estimated by leading banks in London. This rate should be charged for all borrowings from other banks. LIBOR rates are calculated for 10 currencies and 15 different borrowing periods, ranging from overnight to 1 year. It is published daily at 11:30 a.m. at London by Thomson Reuters. Financial agencies, credit agents, mortgage lenders follow this rate. It is estimated $350 trillion are transacted by LIBOR. Money markets in the world follow this rate. Like LIBOR, we have Mumbai Interbank Offer Rate, MIBOR, MIBOR. Similarly, for Singapore, it is SIBOR, SIBOR, Singapore Interbank Offer Rate. Similarly, for Hong Kong, HIBOR, HIBOR, Hong Kong Interbank Offer Rate. So, this is the LIBOR and MIBOR. Now we are coming to Banking Ombudsman Scheme. Banking Ombudsman Scheme. This scheme is an expeditious and inexpensive platform for banking customers for solving their complaints relating to certain services of the banks. This was first introduced in 1995 and revised in 2002. Current scheme is from 1st January 2006. Totally 22 ombudsman offices are there. Introduced under Banking Regulation Act 1949, underline, very important, PT point of view. The scheme extended to digital transactions also from 2019. At present, 21 ombudsmen are there for digital transactions. The coverage was earlier extended to NBFCs from 2018. Only non-deposit taking NBFCs with asset size of 100 crores and above with the public interface are covered. This is called Ombudsman Scheme of the banking system. With this, we will end the class. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.